got to pick up every stick. You got to pick up every stick. I'll be next to out to make it rich. Oh, love must be the season of the wind. Must be the season of the wind. Must be the season of the wind. You got to pick up every stick. You got to pick up every stick, mama. Be next to out to make it rich. Oh, Lord, must be the season of the wind. Must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch. And I look out my window, so many sights to see. And when I look in my window, baby, so many different people to be, that it's strange, so strange, yeah. You got to pick up every stick. You got to pick up every stick. You got to pick up every stitch. Oh, Lord, must be the season of the wind. Must be the season of the wind. Must be the season of the wind. Take it, James.
Hey, we're live here at the Mad Max Beer Garden at Top Dog Coffee Bar in Morro Bay, California. How we doing, Tom? We doing good, man? The screenshot is showing showing Avila Beach. All right, we're live here at Top Dog Coffee Bar in Morro Bay, California, and James Davis here, and really excited to be here today. And we've got some excellent guests coming up. We've got Judy Salamaca, a really good friend here in Morro Bay. She's going to be coming up here in a bit. And starting off in just a few minutes, we have the owner of Top Dog Coffee Bar, Patrick Beats, is going to be with us. And Patrick is also the founder of Rescue Me Coffee Company. And so he's going to be joining us on the mic here in a little bit. We're really looking forward to it. Hope you're having a good afternoon. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Of course, we're streaming live right now on slowtalk.com. Before we start, I just want to thank our crew. We've got a lot of good people that are helping us out. We've got Tom Brown, James Gallardo, Stephen Shubin. And Stephen, if you're at home today watching us, we so much appreciate and miss you, man. Mr. T, the power man, HR in the house, he knows what that means. Anyway, Soren Richenberg, we appreciate you setting up this hardwire here, man, at Top Dog Coffee. And, of course, all the people that make this happen. And Slow Talk is an opportunity for you to enjoy live streaming interviews, news, and music. And I don't know about you, but I have missed live music so much these last 6-9 months. I thrive on live music. I thrive on an opportunity to, have a good conversation. And I want to thank Patrick Beats. He'll be joining us shortly. But this is his business here in Morro Bay. And he's offered us during this shelter-in-place time an opportunity to live stream open air safely during this time, but an opportunity for you to be at home and to receive some information, to be able to check out some music, some news. Hey, have some fun. And so also want to thank the folks involved with Rescue Me Coffee. A lot of people behind the scenes. I know Patrick's wife, Suzanne, does a lot of incredible work to get the coffee bags ready. In fact, if you're hearing this live stream, we're going to be talking with Patrick about Rescue Me Coffee Company. You may want to look at that online. It's an opportunity to support service dogs that are being trained right now at California Men's Colony. And then when those dogs graduate, they're trained by prisoners, by the way. When they graduate, those service animals help local veterans that live in San Luis Obispo County. And Patrick set up Top Dog Coffee Bar. Of course, he's the founder, but he also set up Rescue Me Coffee Company. And with that, there's a monthly coffee subscription and an opportunity through 20% of the proceeds from that purchase to support local groups that help raise service dogs for local veterans. I can't think of a more beneficial thing. Actually, it's one of the most beneficial things. And I'm very excited to be able to tell that story today and to talk to a guy that had vision to go beyond the business and to go in making an impact with some significance. So we're really grateful. And then coming up a little bit later, Judy Salamaca. Judy is a friend for almost 20 years, was involved in the Morro Bay Harbor Festival, helped us launch the foster agency here in Morro Bay, and did a lot of great support throughout the community. We'll ask her, and she'll tell her story. It's going to be a lot of fun. But you know what? You guys are in for a real treat today. There's a musician that we're going to bring on here in just a few minutes. And I was doing some work with the Stereo Bay Radio, and a stack of CDs came in. And one of the CDs had Noah Colton on it with a band that he played with called Spaces Between. And it caught my attention. It was just incredibly good music. And Noah has gone on and forged a solo career, released some music. Check him out on Facebook, Instagram, might be on Twitter, I don't know. But check him out. Incredibly gifted young artist, has done a lot of concerts in this area. Of course, the concerts have slowed down a little bit, and we're excited to bring you some live streaming music today to enjoy. And I think we're almost ready to bring Noah on. Do we have a heads up here? We're almost ready to go. Noah, are you ready, man? All right. So without further ado, thank you for joining us today. We're going to be streaming all the way up till 5 o'clock. And we bring you Noah Colton here at Top Dog Coffee Bar, Morro Bay.
Bill Pop and Good Time Boys love to make haste for velveteen harlots who lay them to waste on the tracks of their dreams with no destination. These frigid, frailly Let's try it again. Done your best to have it both ways, so now you run in place. Every day's another replay of what you refuse to face. It picks at you until you're bleeding, but you don't mind the scabs. You lick your wounds while never healing what you have torn to rags, because it all keeps coming back.
All right. Wow. That was absolutely great. Noah, thank you so much, man. We are so excited to have Noah Colton with us here at Mad Max's Beer Garden, Top Dog Coffee, Morro Bay, California. Speaking of Top Dog Coffee, now we get to shift the tables a little bit, literally and figuratively. And my guest for the next 15 minutes or so is the owner, the founder of Top Dog Coffee, and something else pretty special, my good friend, Patrick Beets.
Hey, James. Thank you, man. It's awesome to be here.
Well, it's awesome to be here, but we're in your garden. Actually, we're in Mad Max's garden.
We're in Mad Max's garden, yeah.
And we'll get to how that happened, right?
Yeah.
But Patrick, on behalf of Slow Talk and all the viewers, thank you so much for letting us come here every 2 weeks and live stream.
It is my pleasure. I love having you guys here. You know, all these lunatics on the crew, man, are awesome, and it's great.
It's a pretty good crew.
It's an awesome crew. These guys are they're great. I love all of them, man. They're great guys.
And if you folks, this is the commercial time. This is one of our sponsors. We're so grateful. If you folks live in this area, come on down to Top Dog Coffee. Check it out. Got a really nice open-air garden in the back. Nice area in the front. Really, and you're doing a lot of to-go food and drinks right now, Patrick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing all that.
Yeah, and check it out, topdogcoffeebar.com. Is that right?
857 Main Street, Morro
There we
Bay.
go. There we go. And bring it. And then if you're watching this on the World Wide Web, some of our friends and viewers all around the globe, literally, if you're in Morro Bay or you come to the Central Coast, don't miss this place. This is such a cool thing. And it's actually opened up almost 15 years ago, about 15 years ago.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while.
Now doing it for a while, you left, for our viewers that may not know, you left L.A.
I did, yeah.
And
they threw me out.
They threw you out?
Yeah, that's what really
Okay.
happened.
Well, I'm looking, Patrick, here at Internet Movie Database, IMDb.
Uh-oh.
And Patrick Beets, it says they threw you out, but no.
Yeah.
But man, the sound work that you did on so many films.
I was busy.
I mean, I'm looking, it goes on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, up close and personal.
Yeah. I did. You know, it's so funny because it's a part of my life that was actually a while ago now. And there's people that will discover that and they'll come up and they'll say, "Man, what movies did you work on?" And I'm like, "Oh my God,
how do I list?
I don't even." Yeah, it's a long list.
But speaking of pivot,
I forgot.
But you intentionally left Los Angeles, that life.
Yeah, well, 25 years is it's a career for a lot of people.
It's a quarter of your life. If you live to 100, right?
Well, I'm hopeful. Taking my vitamins.
Drinking coffee.
Drinking a lot of coffee, yeah. No, it was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of stress. And I came through Hollywood in the heyday of Hollywood when Hollywood was freaking off the chain, and really Hollywood. All those stories you hear are true. And it was crazy, but it was really great. I mean, I loved it. The guys I worked with were awesome, really creative, really bright, really funny.
How did you first get into sound editing, and how did that all happen?
How did I get into post-production? There was this guy I met in college, and he's like, "Hey, man, whenever you're done, whatever, look me up in L.A." And so I drove down there, and I didn't.
You actually looked him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he worked for this guy who did just a bunch of big grade A features. And so they started me, and I knew nothing. I didn't have a rich uncle. I didn't have anybody that was a producer or director or anybody like that. I just and I was driving a long way, man. I was driving from Riverside.
Wow.
And I would actually sleep in my car.
To be able to show up and do the gig at the beginning.
Yeah. And I worked for free and would work my way up. And there were guys, this is how I climbed the ladder. There were guys that were ahead of me, and I'd find out what they were making, their paycheck, and I was like, yeah, man, I want some of that. And so I would tell them, go home. I would stay all night. I would do their work that they needed to have done by the next morning. Mm-hmm. They would come in, check it, and go
"Oh,
dude, you know what you're doing."
You were hungry.
Yeah. Yes, I was.
And so when they said you knew what you're doing, that led to more work?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know pretty soon I worked out of that business out of that particular business. Yeah. And then I started freelancing, and I never quit. There was times when I would be doing 3 features at a time.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So what was the impetus? Was there some major event, Patrick, that made you say, hey, I want to get out of L.A. and go to the Central Coast? Or what happened?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, what happened is Hollywood was really changing. So when I was cutting, and picture as well, not only picture but also sound, all post, really, we were cutting on 35 millimeter. And I just loved holding film in my hand. There's just nothing like this. Sounds like crazy, but I loved holding 35 millimeter film in my hand. It was just the most. It's so tangible. It was so cool, you know.
No, most people don't have any idea what you're talking about. I've had an idea to open a can and touch that.
Yeah.
The celluloid, which is really a very fragile media, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's old, it
Yeah.
for sure is,
Yeah.
you know. But it was, what is it? What's it like? Years ago, but I think they still make single lens reflex cameras, right?
yeah.
And so that little canister that you buy
Oh, yeah.
at the store, CVS or wherever, I'm sure they sell it 35 millimeter film,
Yeah.
and that's like probably, I don't know. There's 36 pictures in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So every reel that we worked on, every movie was 12 reels, and each reel was about 1,200 feet,
Wow.
continuous.
Wow.
Right. So editing is going into that, cutting that open, pushing it, pulling it, replacing it, putting in a different scene, trying something else.
Oh, so when you were working on the sound part of it, you grabbed the actual celluloid, ran that.
All of it.
Oh, so now everything's gone digital, but back then it was hands-on each piece.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
We had a flatbed. A flatbed is a it holds all the platters of film.
Yeah.
So we would be able to run film and sound simultaneously and cut it.
So you're talking celluloid to coffee.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, what drove that? What
How did I get here?
Yeah. What was the impetus, or was there one major thing that did that?
No, you know, as we started to transition over to digital editorial workstations, I didn't want to just be a computer jockey staring at a screen all day. It just
so
isn't what I
that
wanted
had
to
started
do.
to happen.
Yeah, it kind of started. Yeah, and I just kind of thought, oh man, do I want to be just, you know, locked in a room with a computer screen? Because I'm really social. You probably picked that up.
Just a little bit.
A
right?
little bit, yeah. And so I kind of was like, oh man, thinking long term, what do I want to do? I don't really want to be tied to a computer. And then I got this opportunity to come up here. And with some partners, we bought all the Gold's Gym franchises rights for the entire Central Coast from Santa Barbara to Paso.
Did not know that was the thing that brought you up.
Yeah, an investment opportunity.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell it was. But I built a club in Santa Maria. We had 7,500 members, and it was great.
It was a happening thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. It was. We were on a tear.
That's back in what, 06?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
right about there.
05,
05?
04,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. Yeah. Somewhere. I don't know. What's them down?
That's
when's
just
my
after
last
I
move?
came, because I don't know what the last one. Oh, it is here. It is here.
What's my last?
It says
feature?
06, so I guess I'm
06,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I did all the construction. We had 35,000 square feet. I had 70 employees.
It's a pretty big facility.
It was a huge. Yeah, it was a monster.
Yeah.
But the film business actually really trained me well for that.
Yeah. To be able to absorb that kind of business and
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
And handle that kind of pressure.
Now, how long did you do that before this opportunity opened up?
I sold that after 3 years because I'm kind of a work junkie. It's kind of a bad thing I struggle with. You know, some people struggle with.
And
other
coffee
kind
makes that worse, right?
Yeah, coffee doesn't help that. Sold the gym, and I knew this guy who was a broker, and he's like, Patrick, there's this failing coffee bar in Morro Bay. You should buy it. And I'm like,
Wait a minute, failing coffee bar. Did he say money on the table potential, or?
well, the guy owned like $250,000 in back taxes. And so it was slowly but surely slip sliding away, you know, and I was like, well, what else is for sale? And he goes, well, there is this online condom business. And I was like, that's so random. I don't even know how to what? but I didn't buy that one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I went with a coffee bar.
Okay.
And then at one point we had 4 of these.
That's right, Cayucos, AGE,
Yeah, Lompoc.
and Lompoc.
Yeah.
Wow. And right now there are 2.
There's one.
One right here.
Thank God.
Tog Dog Coffee
yeah,
Bar right
yeah.
here in Morro Bay.
This is it.
This is a great segue. Before we're going to show a little reel here right after we're done, but before we do, I want to go ahead and touch on something that is a passion of yours, and you're actually wearing the hat right now. Rescue Me Coffee Company, which is a whole nother addition to Top Dog. What does that mean? What's that all about in a nutshell?
Oh man, that's a crazy thing. That's man, I love giving back. I love helping people. It's really what I live for, and that's a way for me to do that.
You were out, as I understand it, the story you told me, you were out at CMC, California Men's Colony Prison.
I was, yeah.
A friend took you out there to see the graduation of a service dog that was raised by a prisoner.
Right.
And then a veteran was there to receive the dog.
Right.
And that afternoon, you said you went out to your car.
Oh yeah. Well, after as I walked away, as they let me out of prison that day, and I walked to
For the second time,
for the
right?
second time that day, yeah. I walked to my car and I was just like a complete motor mouth. I told Suze, I'm like, okay, we're gonna start Rescue Me Coffee. We're gonna ship coffee all over the U.S. We're gonna donate back money. We're gonna buy puppies for these inmates to keep training, and we're gonna keep the thing going.
Right after that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, right then.
This
Yeah.
just kind of,
Right then.
wow.
Yeah.
And I know.
I feel bad for her, man.
Well, I see her packing the bags and the gifts and everything.
Yeah, I feel bad for
But
her.
it's a team effort.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Couldn't do
Yeah.
it without her. Yeah.
Well, it's exciting, Patrick, to get a sense of your passion, the ability to shift gears in life, which a lot of us have done the last 9 to 12 months. And want to have you back at your place sometime and hear some more about that story.
Absolutely.
We'd like to show our viewers right now a reel that we put together that shows a lot of what you do here at Top
cool.
Dog, but it also shows some of Rescue Me Coffee.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and what's the website for Rescue Me Coffee Company?
www.rescue-me-coffee.com.
Okay, great. And then, of course, Talk Dog Coffee Bar, Morro Bay.
Yeah.
Patrick, thank you for being our guest on Slow Talk.
Man, it is really my total pleasure. I love you guys, love what you guys do, and you guys are spreading the good word and helping so many businesses here in Morro Bay, and actually in the whole Central Coast, and that's just freaking awesome.
Well, we're grateful to be here and be a part of what you're doing too.
Man, I'm happy.
Thanks,
happy you
Patrick.
guys are here.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and go to that reel now and show you a little bit about what happens here at Top Dog Coffee. Thank you, Patrick. Slow Talk Live is brought to you in part by Top Dog Coffee Bar. Fresh, micro-roasted coffee every day because it matters. Check them out online at topdogcoffeebar.com or visit them at 857 Main Street, Morro Bay, California. Call them up at 805-772-9225. Open daily from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. Slow Talk Live is brought to you in part by
Rescue Me Coffee Company. Rescue Me Coffee Company, coffee with a cause. Top Dog Coffee is excited to announce a new venture called Rescue Me Coffee Company. Rescue Me Coffee Company grew from the love of our own rescue dog, Mad Max, Defender of the Universe. With over 12 years of micro-roasting sustainably farmed coffees from around the world, we knew it was time to bring the two together and share them with everyone. Through our website, you can order a subscription of coffee to arrive at your door every month with free shipping. We donate 20% of every bag shipped to the organization of your choice. Start your subscription today and join us in making a difference in the lives of others. Rescue Me Coffee Company believes in being transparent in every sense of the term. Be it the farmer or sourcing, we ensure that you know everything about what's in your cup and how each purchase impacts the life of the farmers, the causes we support, and our goal to ensure we leave the world a better place. All of our coffee is single origin. Our coffee is direct trade and sustainably sourced. We partner with farms that only use organic farming practices to cultivate our superior coffees. Every shipment you receive will be roasted to perfection. The sugars caramelized just to the perfect sweet spot. With a percentage of every bag sold going to the cause of your choice, you make an impact with every purchase. Want to know more about the causes we support? Please visit newlifecanines.org and careforpaws.org.
Right. This next tune goes out to the employees and owners of Top Dog and the Rescue Me Coffee Company. It's an original. The title's in the refrain. I know this life you're living has treated you rough. Maybe all it's taught you is how to be tough. But the walls that you have built up will leave you alone unless you learn to throw this world that you've been hating a bone. Now I ain't one to judge, I've been shitty before, but I know that you have been kind and still could be more than just an angry old man who's paid far more than his dues. So please don't kick your dog, she's better than you. She's peed on the carpet and has been known to bite, but I could hear you down the hall when you were blacked out last night. You threw up all over the bathroom and wished you were dead. And when you woke up the next morning, you forgot what you said about changing your ways and quitting the drink. But you've heard everyone who's loved you. Did you ever stop to think you can blame only yourself? Not a bottle of booze that makes it kick your dog, who's better than you. No one changes overnight. Every day's a chance to make it right. I know you've said that you might break yourself out from the cycle you don't want to repeat, but every ounce of sweat weighs like a ton of concrete. Now you have to look at all the things that you've done, and no one's gonna hold your hand except for the one who still may need a walk, who still needs to be fed. A good enough reason for you to crawl out of bed, not hiding, feeling sorry, just taking up space. For there's a world that's out there that you're This next one is for the ladies, but it's to the fellas. You're so lonely, you're so green. You're the saddest lover I've ever seen. You're hardly talking with so much to say and so much to give, but you give it away to the ladies who do not give a cent about you, nor do they determine your value. Hopeless and priceless, they ain't worth a mess, and they can't help you outrun sadness. You're so horny, you're so mean. It must be that toxic masculinity that keeps you waiting for the world to kneel, wondering what happened to your sex appeal. To the ladies who seem to be much better without you, but they don't seem too happy about your intentions. Selfish and harmless, you're making a mess, and you ain't gonna outrun sadness. No, no. Your routine is still the same, but you're older now, so who's to blame? Have you been waiting on some female savior to come and excuse your bad behavior? 'Cause there ain't no waiver to your bad behavior. She's so pretty, she's insane. Best to stay the hell out of her lane. If you believe in love, leave her there. Find a better way to show you care for the ladies. Know that it's not all about you. You go with or without your intentions. Selfish or harmless, making a mess. You ain't gonna outrun. Clean up your mess. Stop trying to outrun. It's time you confess that you will not outrun sadness. You can outrun sadness. You won't outrun it. You can't outrun sadness. You won't outrun it, but wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. All right, this next tune is one by a group called The Replacements. That sounds fairly in tune. Bring your own lampshade. Somewhere there's a party. Here it's never ending. Can't remember when it started. Pass around the lampshade. Plenty enough room in jail. Being wrong's a crime. Served forever. Being stoned and kind. Then I'll need help. one of my favorites.
Thank you so much, Noah Colton. Yeah, that was excellent, man. And now we shift gears a little bit. We've got a really special guest with us here today at Slow Talk. Really good friend, an incredibly accomplished person, although that may humble her a little bit. She's just an incredible person. You're going to hear a little bit about Judy Salamanca. And Judy, on Facebook, it says you're a retired columnist at the Tribune, but you're currently doing work with the Bay News, right?
Actually, I retired. I worked for the Tribune and the Bay News at the same time for several years, and then the Bay News was actually a part of Simply Clear Marketing, and which developed all kinds of magazines as well as the Bay News, and they decided they needed to focus on their other properties, and so shut down the newspaper the day that I had decided it was time for me to retire.
That's
So it was
interesting.
excellent timing on both parts.
And now you have JudySalamanca.com, and you do an active blog.
It's not very active
Okay.
because I started writing again for the Estero Bay News.
Ah, okay.
So that's what I've been doing lately.
Now, Estero Bay News, Dean Sullivan.
Correct.
Excellent. He came in and took that back over when that had closed, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. And he actually started that, which is a crazy story in of itself. We're going to actually have Dean Sullivan on. I want to invite Dean on and hear that story because that's a crazy good
It's a
story.
great story, and
Yeah.
whole family operation that they have there. And yes, when the Bay News closed, he quickly resurrected called it the Estero Bay News, and they've been going ever since. So there really wasn't a
stoppage
break.
at all, a break.
Yeah.
They kept it going.
Yeah, but I really didn't. I was working on a book, and so I had decided I was ready to not do the deadlines for some time, and until COVID, I was retired.
Now, working on a book, is that the book about?
The Colonel Baker book.
Yes.
No, that was published in 2013.
Okay.
And I call that my legacy from leaving Bakersfield.
All right.
And had the opportunity to be able to do the biography of a fictionalized biography of Colonel Thomas Baker, who's the founder of Bakersfield.
Fascinating. So it was a different type of process for you?
It was totally different process for me. And because there was a lot more research, it took 4 years to do. I was writing with a co-writer and doing the research from oral history mostly, and book and other research with the great-great-grandson.
To bring his story together for the first time that I understand.
The only part of his story that had been told would be like in the coffee table books or the little blurbs that you get if you go to Wikipedia.
Nothing substantial, nothing comprehensive.
No. But the
Excellent.
great-great-grandson had all the history. He'd been keeping the research and newspapers and gathering stuff for years, but had never written the book. And my co-author and I told him we wanted to write the book, and he said, sure. And he said, sure, you're going to write
There was
the
a
book.
tone in that.
Yes,
Yeah.
there was definitely a tone.
So,
but-
Judy, rolling back a few years, I first met you right here in Morro Bay, involved in the Morro Bay Harbor Festival. I think that's where we came together. And I was starting a foster family agency at that time. And we used to joke. We used to say, well, we're into marketing. But I guess we're still into marketing, right?
We're still into
We're
marketing,
still into
you
marketing.
know.
Yeah, you know. And in addition to being an author, in addition to writing one book, now have you started a second book close to being published, or?
I have a draft of a book close to being published. We'll see about that. I had the first draft done at the beginning of this year, and I had it out for friends and people that I wanted trusted to beta read it. Had some good feedback, so when I went to the San Francisco Writers Conference, which I've been a volunteer for about 4 years, I was ready to pitch it. And but volunteers can't actively, it's not kosher to actively pitch because we're there as volunteers.
Kind of a conflict of interest.
Exactly. But in listening to some of the presenters, I realized that my first chapter needed to be rewritten. It needed a first chapter. to hit my target audience, which is middle grade, or it's a teen. It's for 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade
Focus on that.
focus. Yeah. And particularly, I wanted to hit a male audience, and my first chapter wasn't doing that. So
It was actually a good thing to go to that
Right.
conference. And
So
now,
I came back to try and rewrite that, do that, finish that, and COVID happened. So my life turned upside down again.
But we were talking the other day, and you said rather than a negative thing, there's been a lot of good that's come out of these last 9-10 months in your life.
There's very little that has been negative for me personally, where my husband and I were in a good place, that we had our home, we were financially secure, and we had the opportunity to give back. And my children, both my two daughters are in daughter and daughter-in-law are in healthcare, so they were essential workers. My son's a contractor, and so he kept working.
Busier
And
than
my
all get out.
son-in-law is Caltrans. He's an essential worker and got to work from home. And my adopted son, Michael Nelson, that we met at the beginning of this, well, I met several years ago, but really started working with him, is our dog trainer, and literally I adopted him. If I could go to the courts and write
would
it
do that.
down,
You would
I
do
would
it.
do that in a heartbeat.
And Michael Nelson, now we're going to come back and bring Michael on. Michael is one of the founders of Second Chance Dog.
He is the founder.
Is the founder. And give the name of that organization, please, Judy.
Second Chance Dog Training.
Second Chance Dog Training, with dashes in between to differentiate it by other groups with the same name. And is that based out of San Luis Obispo County?
No, here in Morro Bay.
Right in Morro Bay.
But it's all county, and Patrick and Suzanne actually were the initiators to encourage Michael to start training again, because he was the catalyst to Patrick and Suzanne and myself going to the graduation at CMC. He was the keynote speaker.
Were you there at that graduation that I spoke of earlier?
Yes.
That is. Were you the friend that invited Patrick to that?
No.
Okay. But you were part of that group that went.
I went there as to report it. I was invited by Rotary. They had a project with the New Life Canines. They were doing fundraising for them. So I was invited to go to witness it because of Rotary and that's where I was introduced to Michael. He was he had been paroled, didn't want to leave until he'd been through the graduation with the dog that he had trained for 2 years, 7 days a week.
2 full years.
2 full years, and had to give it up to a policeman from San Luis who had PTSD. And his pictures are all around the walls and right here at Top Dog, and he's totally a dog whisperer. And Patrick and Suzanne suggested in January that even before January, that he start dog training because he was a master trainer already. And our dog needed some training.
Wow. And now you lost a dog recently.
Well,
Last couple of years?
CJ is 3 now, so, and it was about 6 months before we got another dog.
Because
So
the dog previously you had for quite a long time.
Cajun was about 15 years.
I read a little bit about that, and then I met the new dog, and that's what type of breed is that, Judy? Your brand new one?
He's mixed. He's
Yeah.
a rescue,
Yeah.
and he's a lab. Probably, we know he has some pit in him, and he also has Great Dane.
Now, was he raised by one of the organizations, or
No?
No, but he was rescued.
Somebody rescued him on 46 as they were coming over from the Central Coast and brought him over to the rescue. And he was so young that they hadn't even put him in the population yet when Bob met him and took a picture of him and said, "I found our dog," and I said, "Bring him home."
Just like that.
Just
Now, when
like
Bob
that.
said that, you thought this is it, and it's been a really good match for you guys?
Yeah.
Wow. And Bob was the finder. That's pretty cool. Well, Judy, I think what we're going to do is show a little bit of video now of some of the work that Slow Talk did out at Slow Brew. We did the annual Veterans fundraiser for the Right on Transportation, And in fact, we're getting ready to do another one in the spring, and I think Louis Ortega is going to go ahead and lead that one, a really good friend that you introduced me to. But we're going to go ahead and show that now, and then maybe do a little bit more, come back and tie up our interview with a little bit more. I've got some questions for you about what you're up to in the future.
Okay. I'd love to tell the story about somebody on your crew, too.
I'm looking forward to that.
for the money, 3 to get ready. Now go ahead, go, but don't you ever my blue suede shoes. You can do anything, all for my blue suede shoes. You can knock me down, step in my face, select my name all over the place. You do anything that you wanna do, but I'll honey, lay off of them shoes. Now don't you step in my blue suede shoes. You can do anything, lay off of them blue suede shoes. And go, cat, let's cry. My house, steal my car, break my leg up on an old fruit jar. Do anything that you wanna do, but I'll honey, lay off them shoes. Now don't you step on my blue suede shoes. You can do anything, all for my blue suede shoes. One more time, boys. What is it? Blue suede shoes, yeah.
Hey, welcome back to Slow Talk Live. James Davis here, your host, and we're really thankful that you've joined us this afternoon. And we're back in the Mad Max Beer Garden here at Top Dog Coffee, Morro Bay, California. And my friend Judy Salamanca is here with us again. And Judy, we touched a little bit on Second Chance Dog Rescue. Is that the official name?
Second Chance Dog Training.
Second Chance Dog Training. And I want to understand a little bit more about what the process is, what they do, and how somebody gets involved in that.
Okay. It is a new business. Officially, October in October during COVID, Michael started the business.
Is it nonprofit or a business?
It is a business.
Okay.
It's a business that is based in SLO County, and it is a dog training business. Michael, Patrick and Suzanne and I met him when he was at CMC. He'd been with the New Life Canines training the dogs that were given to veterans or men that had PTSD, veterans that had PTSD, and he was the master trainer for lead trainer, I guess they called him, for Eddie. And Eddie he had Eddie for 2 years, training for 2 years.
A long time.
7 days a week, unless he was out with the puppy parent during the weekend, and 24 hours a day. And so he was definitely a master trainer. When he started working, he was paroled, but he asked to not be paroled until the following day because he wanted to stay for Eddie's graduation. Yeah. And he was a keynote speaker at that graduation that Patrick and Suzanne and I witnessed, and were totally mesmerized by this young man that was so articulate, so amazing with the dogs, and he just captured our hearts as well as did the dogs in the program.
And if he hadn't requested that, he had not been there during
correct.
that graduation. He'd have been
Right.
gone.
Right.
And as fate would have it, the stars lined up, and you had the opportunity. And then how did you follow up? Did you personally follow up with Eddie after that?
I had written a story about it, and then when he decided to relocate from San Francisco back to the Central Coast, he started working for Patrick and Suzanne.
Oh, okay.
And so we re-met him. Bob came home one day in January and said, Michael is back and he's training dogs that
Wow.
Suzanne and Patrick had recommended that he start getting back into dog training again. And so we had him start working with CJ, and then ultimately he decided that that's what he wanted to do for his life's career, and so started the dog training program business in Second Chance Dog Training in October. Our goal was, this was like mid-October when he got all his licensing.
Yeah.
Our goal was that he would get 20 clients by the end of 2020. And he ended up with, I think, 27, 28.
Almost doubled his goal.
No,
Or actually,
not quite.
yeah, a 50%. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Now, Judy, your involvement, do you just tell people about the business? Do you make linkage for people that may need their dogs trained? How do you, how are you involved?
It's his business.
Yeah.
It's totally his business. And what I've been able to do is to recommend him, to use my network to help find people that may be interested in using his services.
And you wrote a story. Now, if folks are listening,
Not about this. I have not written a story about this.
that's upcoming.
Maybe.
Or bring them on the podcast here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I've written a story about the prison
graduation,
program,
yeah.
and I also he has another nonprofit that he works with young men that are being paroled or are still inside, that called Kid Cat, and that's a program that he developed in with 7 other youth offenders when he was up in San Quentin. Wow. And that program is sanctioned by the California Corrections. It's a nonprofit, wow. And it helps guide youth offenders that have gone into prison when they're 14, 15 years old, and helps them regroup themselves as adults to be able to eventually gain parole.
Judy, I love the way that you intentionally put your energies towards things that really matter. And you've done this time and time again. You might not toot your own horn, but I've seen it. You've been involved in a lot of things. But I really commend you, because when you find something on your, this is what I see. When you find something of value in your radar screen, you focus on that and put your heart, you and Bob put your heart in that. And that's a powerful thing. You're retired. You've got some ability to do that. You've consistently done that. And I just want to commend you for that. That's part of your character. That's inspiring.
I'm project-oriented.
I love that. Good project-oriented, though. And now, how is Bob involved? Is Bob the same way? He tells people about it? And
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Essentially, as I said, Michael, we adopted him, and he's part of the family, and so we're all good friends, and he's just part of the family.
You're building relationships. Now, earlier you mentioned the San Francisco Writers Conference that you've attended the last 3 or 4 years. Prior to that, some of our viewers know this, some don't. You used to direct the San Luis Obispo Writers Conference?
Central Coast Writers Conference
Central
at Cuesta
Coast.
College.
For about 5 years?
4 or 5 years,
Yeah. And you ended that. You passed the baton to somebody else.
Terry Bayes.
Yeah, Terry. And then how did you get interested or connected with what's happening up in the San Francisco area?
The director of, she wasn't the director at when I first started going up there, but she was ultimately going to be, was one of my first presenters. She was the first agent that I booked for the Central Coast.
Ah.
She was so good, so knowledgeable, so personable that I broke my own rule of having somebody back every year.
You normally don't do that.
And no, normally.
But you said I got to make an exception. And what's that person's name?
Lori McLean.
And that's the director of the San Francisco?
She is now the director. This is 2 years she's been the director of the San Francisco Writers Conference. And
Now, it begs the question, what's happening here in the Central Coast with, do you know, with the Central Coast Writers Conference and COVID, how has that affected that?
the San Francisco has been, it won't happen. It's supposed to, it's every February, so it's definitely not going to happen this year. So they're planning 2022.
And what about the Central Coast Writers Conference? Do we have any news about that?
And that's in September, or late September,
little
so
breathing
we
room.
still have some time to see what's going to happen there.
Gosh, just in general, I really, really miss connecting with people, live events. Being in the garden today is so good. Just talking with you across the table.
Yeah, the beauty of it didn't happen for San Francisco, but because of the timing, that was February. We were able to go to February, and
Just before the shelter in place.
right.
Yeah.
But the Central Coast Writers Conference was all by Zoom, and it was amazing. It was one of the best conferences that I've been to.
It actually worked.
It totally worked.
What do you think, beyond the people that they selected, what dynamics made that work versus in person?
I want to say what didn't work is the camaraderie and the
You
be
missed that.
able,
You missed that.
and everybody missed that.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is that you pack so much information into 2, 3, maybe 4 days that by the time Sunday rolls around, you're so brain dead that you don't even remember what you learned on Thursday.
In that setting.
In the regular setting.
Yeah.
In the Zoom setting, not only do you take your time in being able to pick and choose what workshops you go to, but they offered all of the workshops for up to a year that I can go back and revisit, as well as take a new course
On your own
of
pace.
any of the ones that were there on my own pace.
So the ability to go back and grab that and to revisit it, that's so rich.
Mm-hmm.
So there are benefits to the technological changes. Yeah.
There
The
are
good, the upside
benefits.
and the downside.
Right.
Yeah. Gosh, Judy, looking towards the future, coming out of COVID, sheltering in place, what are some of your goals for the year and maybe the year ahead?
My goal for COVID, and we'll see how long, I came out of retirement to write for Estero Bay News. And each week I focus on a business or an industry and how they're surviving COVID. And there have been some real positives. There have been and some downside. And probably one of the positives for an organization, a group, a business like D'Estacios or Top Dog is the loyalty of their customers. When they started seeing people, their regulars, wanting them to stay in business. And so they were coming back, they were over tipping, they were there for them. And that's a true benefit to your business knowing that. Of course, all of their numbers were down, but I think those are the things that you rely on, that you realize you have those regulars, you have those people, and you can depend on them, but you also work towards them. And that's what I saw a lot in the different articles that I've been doing. Papagallo, same thing. It's people wanted them. They have to be safe. They have to do it the right way, but they wanted them to stay in business. So they were continuing to be patrons whenever they could cruise.
Yeah, our good friends Len and Midge Gentry. I just talked to Len the other day. Yeah, and
these are some of the articles that I've been writing.
Nice. Now, if folks want to find those, the website is esterobaynews.com?
Correct.
Excellent. And we want to give a shout out to Dean Sullivan, the team out there. They're bringing it, and we appreciate that. I'm old school, Judy. I like to grab a paper and read it. And it's nice to have that versus online.
I actually brought a couple visuals, and I left it over on the table.
Did you? We'll have to bring that next time, right? So I think we're going to get ready to have some more music here with Noah. Oh, that's right. That's right. You mentioned you actually do.
Oh, good.
You mentioned that you wanted to talk a little bit about somebody that might be here, and
James Gallardo was with Green to White, and it was the only time in my lifetime that I've been a groupie. We followed them everywhere, and it was because of our Aunt Stella.
Yeah.
And Aunt Stella was at Garden House, and we would bring her down to the market every Saturday. The boys would be paying. We called them the boys.
And Green to White, a three-piece acoustical band.
Right. And they would be playing, and Aunt Stella would cheer the loudest, wouldn't she? She would go, yay! Her loud Aunt Stella voice. And when the boys just loved her, and when she got close to her time and she was on hospice.
She lived at the Garden House,
She was
right?
at Garden House of Morro Bay. And James called me. The boys knew that she was not well. And he called me and he said, "Can we come and play for Aunt Stella?" And I may get teary-eyed doing this, but the boys came, and in her room they played music, and she had been asleep. I mean, she was with us, but she wasn't with us, but her eyes were fluttering. But the other part of the beauty of it is that the entire household of Garden House, 15 residents, were out in the parlor. And they started moving and dancing and holding hands and smiling
because
and
of Green to
happy
White.
Because of Green to White. It was just a beautiful, powerful day.
We're looking maybe sometime to bring those guys back together, if
Wouldn't
at all
that
possible.
be cool?
Wouldn't that be crazy? Maybe right here in the beer garden. So, Jason, if you're watching this, man, come on out here. Yeah.
Jason would have a long way to go.
He would. Well, gosh, Judy, this has been really, really fun today, just to sit down with you, talk, kind of get updated on what you're doing and get a sense of what's happened with Judy and Bob Salamanca. I so much appreciate you carving out time to be here today, and I'm looking forward to having you come back.
Well, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, thanks, Judy. And I appreciate you as a friend and also as somebody that really adds richness to our community. I say that with all sincerity.
Thank you. If you need a dog trainer, Second Chance Dog Training.com.
SecondChanceDogTraining.com with dashes in between.
Correct.
Located right here in San Luis Obispo County, Morro Bay.
Correct.
Judy Salamanca, thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome.
All right.
And I look out my window, so many sights to see.
Just want to wish everybody a happy new year and say happy birthday to my pops, Kevin, aka Papa C.
Papa C.
Papa C. It's for Papa C. Yeah, text him happy birthday. He's 51. Anyway.
Hold on with all your might. It won't look quite right, but it may be enough today. No one really knows when we're living in the days of gold until they've passed along the way. Everyone is running, yearning for the years, wrestling with regret, fighting back the tears, reaching through the glass and clinging to the past till every single hair turns gray. Digging in our heels for how it used to feel, but nothing here is gonna stay. No one here is talking, dying dead alone. Words have lost their meaning, too heavy to hold. Getting drunk off our nostalgia, deafening the news of the day, fading with our memorabilia, drowning out with the noise of nothing new to say. Thought you'd always be so warm and dear to me. Thought we'd be laughing in the end. Now it's getting cold without my friend to hold. It seems I lost him round the bend. Getting drunk off our nostalgia and deafening the news of the day, fading with our memorabilia, drowning out with the noise, getting drunk off our nostalgia and deafening the news
Okay, cool. Oh, sweet. I need that. I'd like to thank everybody. Give it up for G, Grandmaster G, James Gallardo, the original mentor to yours truly. He taught me how to play So What by Miles Davis when I was but a young, strapping, hungry, nimble bass player. I'm like my country, I'm young and getting scrappy. We get some rules to follow. That and this, these and those. No one knows. We take these pills to swallow. How they stick in your throats. They taste like gold. Oh, what you do to me, no one knows. And I realize you're mine. Indeed, a fool am I. And I realize you're mine. Indeed, a fool am I. Oh boy, this thing's out of tune. I journey through the deserts of the mind with no hope. Come undone. I drift along the ocean. Dead lifeboats in the sounds. Come undone. Pleasantly caving in. I come undone. And I realize you're mine. Indeed, a fool am I. And I realize you're mine. Indeed, a fool am I. Heaven smiles above me. What agent here below? No one knows. The gift that you give to me, no one knows. One more? Okay. Alright. That's the homeless version of Queens of the Stone Ages. No one knows. found this tuning. Is no guitar I've ever tried to play in this tuning stays in tune because it's so low that the strings just flap and then fall out of tune. But I met this homeless guy, and he taught me this song about this old lady that swallowed a bird and how absurd because she swallowed a bird. But it was in that same tuning, so I started writing songs in that tuning because it was cool. It's low. Anyway, we're gonna do one more. This is called "The Finer Point of Life." This is I wanted to give a quick shout out to my bandmates, Nick, Jake, and David for rehearsing every weekend for the last 8 weeks. You guys are the best. This is a song that we haven't learned yet. I can hear your skin calling. It's borderline appalling. The bed divine of a dirty mind. You cross the floor and I'm crawling. Close the door and we're able to lay it out on the table. Feel the burn, feel the freeze, feel the will to appease until we're shaken, unstable. Yeah. Lay down your mind. That's it.
They know who Patrick Beats is. Who's Mad Max?
Mad Max is he's the CEO of Rescue Me Coffee,
Yeah.
and we rescued him here in front of the shop about 5 years ago.
Now the shop is the Morro Bay
Top Dog Coffee Bar.
Coffee Bar.
Yeah.
Rescue Me Coffee is something that's created as a result of him and his story.
Well, I had retired from the cookie crock, and I was out. I just felt if there was a good enough lease, why not? And I had an old car in the garage. It turned out a collector's car. And I said, well, let's put it on eBay Motors and see what happens. So I just had a small investment. And I said, well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll go back and run another farm, right?
Yeah, that's right. Every single day, 10% off for all veterans. And just to clarify, that's just a regular ID, not a special military ID.
A regular
Just bring in your
government
regular
issue
ID. Let us know that you're a veteran, and we'll be stoked to honor our 10% discount for all veterans.
Excellent. You know,
Seeing them, feeling them in the shape I'm in. How could she?
how old were you when that was all happening?
Well, I was born in '55.
Okay.
And Castro would come in, the Cuban Revolution is January 1st, 1959. So, yeah, no, we immigrated. I immigrated just before the Cuban Revolution.
Just before.
Yeah, but I was born in Havana, Cuba. But you're right on the Thai. They're both my favorite foods. And everybody knows me now for my Thai food. And my comment is, if you like my Thai, you're going to love my Cuban.
I love that.
Because I actually know what I'm doing there.
Yeah.
TV antennas in the back. You may not have.
We're celebrating to the veterans out here watching. We so much appreciate what you've done. For $3, you get the opportunity to call Right on Transportation, order a bus, a van to come to your house, go to your vision, dental, and medical appointments.
Yeah, that's totally right. And now they have the Mission Act, which allows them, instead of having to take the bus all the way to LA, they can go to local doctors. So,
I think we did a lot of good today. I hope we were able to raise a little bit of money. Those of you watching at home, please consider, giving to the Right on Transportation organization here. They served our country, they protect our rights and our Constitution, and we need to give back, even if it is $2, $3, $5, $10. It adds up.
with my singers, basically the first thing we're teaching them breathing. I tell singers, if you go to a voice coach and they don't teach you breathing first, leave. It's a wind instrument. It's so critical. It's how to breathe as a singer. As a public speaker, it's really a matter of more your head. It's more relaxing into it. It's more just understanding your material and just relaxing into the material, just telling the story.
So I said, but my feelings for you would be something I never knew till I saw the light.
A lot of people get taken advantage of when they inherit something or they've got something and they don't know what it is. It's easy to have somebody take advantage of you, and I really try to go out of my way to go, look, I want you smiling, me smiling, and the guy that gets it smiling.
A win-win-win sale.
Yeah, and there's usually always enough room in there to do that without anybody feeling like, wow, I didn't get a fair shake at that. I want people with a smile on their face more than I want their money.
Slow Talk shines the spotlight on culture, commerce, and community. Featuring interviews and music live streamed on location.
Hey, we're back right here at Mad Max's Beer Garden at Top Dog Coffee, Morro Bay, California. I'm your host, James Davis, and we're Slow Talk Live. And thank you so much, Noah Colton, for your music today. You really brought the vibe. We're actually going to bring some more Noah Colton music, but I want to talk a little bit with Noah today, man, and kind of find out how he got here and what makes him tick and all that good stuff. So I first met Noah a couple of years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Six.
Almost
7.
Yeah, that's right.
2014.
That's right. I want to make it sound like it's been shorter than that, but it hasn't.
No, dude, we go back.
Yeah,
Actually, we have history.
Yeah, that's true. So there
I met
was
you at the OG Slow Brew before they moved locations.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So we did a Stereo Bay radio, and I had the privilege of having playing the music with the group that Noah was in. The name of that group, Noah?
That I was in.
Before.
Oh yeah. That's
Spaces
Between.
Yeah, man. And so they gave me a CD, like a demo. And it was their album, but we got a copy there at the station. It was incredibly good, man, and it really caught our attention. So we had the group in to, play some music, and then of course Slow Brew, man, opening for several groups. You guys did some.
Well, the first time we actually headlined by happenstance because the band, ironically enough, I'm actually playing with the drummer of that band. They were called the Airy. It was supposed to be their first big show, and the drummer at the last minute says, "We're not ready." This is my drummer, ironically enough. He actually ended up being Spaces Between second drummer. So he pulled the cord on their first big show.
All right.
And so
how you guys.
Yeah, that's how we got allowed to be the headliners. It was great. Yeah. And then you got us in with the silent comedy
that's
few months later.
That's right. San Diego group that I was friends with, and they were passing through Slow, and they'd been here 3 or 4 times. Hot band.
Yeah.
And they were looking. Josh called up and said, "We need a good opener," and I recommended you guys. It was great.
Yeah, it's really kind of you.
Yeah,
People really. That's what I miss about that band is that I remember it really taught me how much when you actually put in the work and do a good job and are relatively friendly. People actually support you.
There's some stuff that happens. Yeah.
People opened a lot of doors for us. I would like to think that it was all our hard work and practice, but it really is because people opened a lot of doors for us.
It's 2 things. You're ready, and then they see an opportunity to open some doors, man.
Yeah,
they go, "Hey, this is a good thing." So you make that happen, But that was really fun. And Noah, since then, you've just continued to move from bass into acoustic guitar, electric guitar? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it started to change for me because during the end of Spaces Between, I wanted to start making heavier music because Spaces Between was a lot more, we were a lot of things, but we started getting a little heavier, but I wanted to get into lower tunings and honestly, I wanted to write my own guitar riffs, I think is what it came down to. Yeah. And I wanted to write the drum parts, so that's kind of how it started.
You had kind of a bigger picture of what you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a band's great, but I mean, democracy only works so far for a band before, you don't know how much of Cream, not to compare us to Cream, but Cream was only together for a year. Yeah. Democracy only goes so far at a band. You need a dictator. You need somebody in the front seat driving the van.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, you had some ambition and ability with different instruments, and you wanted to kind of do something beyond just what you were doing at that time. You wanted to branch out a bit, so to speak.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. And so you have a record out that's been out about 2 years, the black covered album, Don't?
Oh, yeah, came out. What was it, 20? Oh, yeah, it was almost 2 years already.
Now see how that, we don't want that clock.
2019.
Other people keep track of the clock, and we, in our mind, that's crazy, man. But it's
I usually do. I'm pretty good about that. I forget it's 2021. Yeah. It's Don't. It was, I mainly just recorded it really quick in one little weekend. It was like a 2-3 hour chunk, 3 different sessions of recording just 4 songs, and did it really quick just so I could get something out there because, I've been working on a solo album for almost 3 years now that I started tracking with one friend and then wasn't satisfied with the results, and then retracked a lot of it with Dame Castillo while keeping the miscellaneous instruments that we had gotten, James plays on it. Our engineer plays stand-up bass on one of the tracks. Damon plays some guitar all over the tracks, and then we got the Candlelight String Quartet are on the opening track, and I got I'm name dropping. I apologize. And then our friend from Cafe Musique, Dwayne English, plays accordion on the track James plays on. So it's been a lot of, and I had to retrack a few of those instruments. So it's I had all these miscellaneous, because each song is different. It's a different approach to every time. So.
And you played a couple of those today.
I actually didn't play anything off of that EP.
Oh, this is the one that's on its way.
This is the one that's been on its way for a long time. Yeah.
Okay. Now I
it
get
was
it.
supposed to be the first big EP, but then
Okay.
it was just like, life happens. Like a lot of life-changing events, loss and all that stuff set me back. So
Is there a title for the EP?
yeah, it's going to be called Well Played Victims. Yeah. It's all sad sad breakup songs. So
That's the vibe.
It'll be coming. Yeah, I'll probably put it out just in time for Valentine's Day next year.
Right there, timely, right?
Yeah, right. Here, for Singles Awareness Day, 2022.
Either it's on or it's off.
Yeah, right.
Timing.
That's how I am.
Timing is everything. Speaking of everything, we want to thank Patrick Beats and Top Dog Coffee for offering us this beer garden here to live stream from, to be at, to produce. And thank you so much, Patrick and Suzanne. And check them out online. And also Rescue Me Coffee. Check them out online also. And Noah, man, we appreciate you coming and just playing some music today. You got 2 guitars behind you, and you mentioned the other guitar is your very first, the one I'm looking at here. Is your
the
very
nylon
first,
I was playing.
Yeah.
And the one that's out of tune. That was my first guitar that my voice teacher / spiritual mentor gave to me when she loaned it to me indefinitely back with during Spaces Between, when I started writing my own songs in private and when no one else was listening. And her name is Lucinda. That is her official title. So finally 2 Christmases ago, she finally just gave me the guitar. After
Nice.
acting like she was never going to give it to me, but
Loner.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is officially
The guitar is Lucinda?
Yeah, her name is
Okay.
Lucinda.
I thought the person that gave you the guitar.
No, that's Mary Moyers. Mary Moyers Lee. Her husband's the mayor of Grover Beach. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but she's a great voice teacher. She got me out of my shell and got me to, she's good because she checks my ego every time I go in there to try to sing. So
Because you really, the transfer between playing with a 3-piece band, doing some vocals, to doing solo, it's
just
all
being alone. Yeah.
See, that's it, and that's a huge shift, man.
Yeah. You can't hide behind loud. It's harder to sing certain songs. I got played certain songs I'm playing with my current band right now.
Yeah.
We're not officially out yet because we're still in the embryo phase. But I played the first 2 songs I played. Excuse me. Are a lot harder to sing when it's just you. When you have loud music to yell over, it's easier to sing a certain way. You got a different approach with a live band because the energy, you can get away with cheating it a little bit versus
it's more bare bones. It's just
exactly. When it's bare bones and you can hear a pen drop and it's not the same.
And I noticed today there are this is a pretty big space here, open air, and there's a couple of guests, few eyeballs, live people. It must feel really good to be just playing in front of
Oh, it feels incredible. Are you kidding? I feel like everybody needs this right now.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I can almost imagine what it's like. I mean, here we are, and there's people at home maybe clapping. We don't know that. You can't hear that. I mean, to hear people clap live is so cool.
It's okay. I'm always having applause for myself in my head.
You bring your own applause.
Yeah, I'm a big hit of my own songs. I'll start playing certain riffs, and all of a sudden I hear the beginning riff and the reaction. I'm partially kidding. It was something me and Andrew used to do during Spaces. After we would not play a song for a long time, then start playing again.
Yeah.
We would lean into the mics and. You got to cheer yourself on because sometimes people don't. And when people don't, it's down to you to encourage yourself.
And thank God you had a sense of humor with that whole thing, right?
No, because it gets really bleak out there.
Yeah, pay to play in L.A. and all that good stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
you got to be your own biggest fan.
No, but something's obvious to me. You're passionate about music. You enjoy playing. You enjoy writing. I mean, don't do it if it's not fun. But obviously, this is something that just brings you alive, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, my favorite thing is listening to records. I mean, my biggest thing about why I started wanting to write songs because I wanted to start writing the albums that I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Because I started hearing certain stuff. I'm like, oh, I don't know, that doesn't exist yet.
I gotta do it.
Yeah, I gotta actually do it. So that's what my goal / dream / trail is what I'm after is I want to write great albums, and I want to write albums with the way. Albums were written back in the 60s and the 70s when it was like a full immersive experience. You opened the fold. I mean, they still exist.
So we got to give a shout out to your dad. It's his birthday today. You already
Yes,
wished him a happy birthday. I think there must be a connection between albums, hands-on, your dad's
Oh,
record
yeah, absolutely.
collection.
My dad's my number one influence, probably my biggest fan, actually. I know I like a song if my dad reacts to it the way I do.
But what about? Did you used to grab his records? Is that
no?
what you,
Actually, I grabbed records he didn't. Brought home music he didn't want me to bring home.
Gotcha.
And that was my act of
Yeah.
rebellion. I got him into a lot of the bands he now enjoys.
Nice.
Like a lot of those classic rock groups he did not want. He detested them,
Yeah.
and then he.
Yeah.
He came
There's
around
something
to it.
there.
Yeah, no, actually, my parents raised. Growing up, I listened to a lot of like, what was it? They raised me on that. One record I remember hearing a lot growing up was the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" soundtrack. And like a Ray Charles compilation album, and Alison Krauss. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I heard those a lot growing up.
Oh yeah.
A lot of worship too.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, that was all like the fundamental stuff. Got that out of the way, right? The classical stuff too. You know?
Yeah.
Soundtracks. Listen to a lot of soundtracks.
And it's interesting how music, we forget that we heard something, and all of a sudden you'll hear something or write something, you'll go, wait a minute, that sounds similar, or there's some influence there.
Yeah,
you know, percolating.
I would say the soundtracks did me a lot of service for melody, because you know, the thing I liked about the soundtracks is that there was always this memorable theme. There were multiple themes that always occur in a really good soundtrack. John Williams and Danny Elfman, and I'm sure there are other great film composers, but I'd say those guys are like the Beatles and the Stones of movie scores. You know, there's always multiple themes within a Star Wars movie or Harry Potter. Like key characters or elements have like a motif that plays when they come onto the screen.
So I'll tell you what, when is that EP going to come out? Do we have any kind of 3 months?
Well, okay, so I have 2 singles that I recorded with my friend Brandon Brown. He's of a group called the Balloon Hoax, and that I recorded with him this past year.
All right.
COVID hit, so it set us back. I'm hoping to get those out by the spring equinox of this year. 2 singles, one of them which I played today. I'll play the other one after this.
You know what? Let's shift gears a little bit, show a little reel, and show people what Slow Talk's been up to lately.
Let's do it, yeah.
And then we'll bring you back.
I'll talk all day.
Hey, no, I know, and I will too. Thank you, man, for being here. Want to bring you back too.
Yeah.
Don't want to make this a one-trick pony thing,
hopefully
man.
not. I would love to talk to you again, Jay.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Tribute and bringing awareness to the United Cerebral Palsy organization that is here in town. And these next 2 tunes we want to dedicate to their cause and to what they've got going on over there. It's a great group of folks that have also helped sponsor this event. And if you could, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you guys to please sing along with this next tune. It is a old rock and roll classic, and it just does not get old.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brains. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. To the disgrace, you grip balls of fire. I left you love because I thought it was funny. You came along and you woo me, honey. In my mind, this love is fine. I said that to the disgrace, you grip balls of fire. Kiss me, baby. Woo, feels good. Hold me, baby. Wanna love it like a lover should. You'll find so kind. Gotta tell this world that you're mine. I chew my nails and I brittle my thumbs. I'm real brother's gonna show his fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. But goodness gracious, you great balls of fire. Baby, woo, feels good. Hold me, baby. Well, wanna love you like a lover should. You'll find so kind. Gotta tell this world that you're mine. Chew my nails, twiddle my thumbs. Real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. In this crazy, great balls of fire. Give it up for him now. Raise your great balls of fire. Johnny, be good. singing Johnny be good tonight. Sing with me now. Go, go Johnny, go, go. Go Johnny, go, go, go. Go Johnny, go, go, go. Go Johnny, go, go, go. Johnny be good.
Song goes out to my lovely partner, the owner of this guitar, Miss Emily Franklin.
Everybody knows it. It's obvious and so amusing. I'm bound to blow it. The whole damn thing's oh so confusing. And I've reason to suspect you love me, and I love you, and I do believe you were made for me, not for you. I've reason to suspect you have a hungry heart, the same as mine. There's good and plenty you can tear apart. The need for you outweighs the need of many. And I've reason to suspect you love me, and I love you, and I do believe you were made for me, and I for you. I've reason to suspect you are not the same as those I've seen who got lost here in between the renovations for a home built by two lovers left alone. When I look at you, the lights flicker and the room starts glowing. The dawn and dew, cherry blossoms in a desert snowing. And I've reason to suspect you love me, and I love you, and I do believe you were made for me, and I for you. I've reason to suspect you are not the same as those I've seen who got lost here in between, and I've reason to suspect you love me. You love me. You love me, and I love you. This is for anybody who's addicted to liking things that are bad for you. You can't kid yourself. It's not funny anymore. You won't protect yourself. You don't respect yourself. It blows up in your face like it did before. No. You can't kid you can't please yourself. It will never be enough. There's too much dopamine filling your pocket screen. You would play it safe, but you like it rough. Leave it alone, don't take it serious, man. We're all imperiously in debt to dues half paid, broken in the debris. You are too serious, man, don't take it seriously. This decade's made to fade, along with what you can no longer be. You can't fool yourself. You know it's true. Your steep decline in health says she's bad for you. Poison has a taste that makes you want some more. She has an open mind, the rather empty kind. Her brain fell out of her head and broke on the floor. Leave her alone, she'll walk all over you, man. Don't take her seriously. She has the power to pawn you off like any old sleaze. She ain't a miracle, man. Won't you listen to me? A cowering, groveling side squeeze, exactly what you can no longer be. You like to wade out in the water until all the world is over your head. Your unsatisfied soul is a dog who has never been fed. You like to wade out in the water until all the world is over your head. Your unsatisfied soul is a dog who's never been fed. Leave it alone. Just stay at home. Leave her alone. Hang up the phone. You like to wade out in the water until all the world is over your head. Your unsatisfied soul is a dog who's never been fed. You like to wade out in the water until all the world is over your head. Your unsatisfied soul is a dog who will never be fed. Will never be satisfied. No.
All right. Thank you so much, Noah Colton. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on Slow Talk Live. We're going to be back on Tuesday, January, I think it's the 19th. Is that right? Yep, Tuesday, January 19th, 2 weeks from now, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And some guests to be announced. And want to thank everybody involved today. Want to thank our crew right here, Tom Brown, James Gallardo, Stephen Shubin, Top Dog Coffee, Rescue Me Coffee Company. Thank you, Mad Max, for letting us be in your beer garden today. And again, thank you, Noah Colton, man, for bringing the tunes and the vibe. We so much appreciate you. And check him out online at Noah Colton on Facebook, Instagram. And also check out James Gallardo Music, Tom Brown Studios. And gosh, thank you, Judy Salamanca, for being our guest today on Slow Talk Live. Really appreciate being able to learn more about what you do. And then also Patrick Beats and Suzanne Beats, thank you so much for bringing this today and providing this space and what you do in our community. If you'd like to be part of this, let us know. If you want us to represent your brand, an interview, there's a lot of opportunity. Check us out online at slowtalk.com, Facebook, Instagram. Until next time, thank you so much for being with us.